What's going on, everybody? It's Yap MMA. I'm back with another video. Today, we're going to be talking about the downfall and the future of Benoît Saint-Denis, one of the most entertaining lightweight prospects that we had in the past year or so, past couple of years, but he's taken a turn for the worse. His past two fights have been pretty bad. They've been bad. He's gotten beat down bad. He's gotten knocked out in his past two. And now there's a kind of a question of where Saint-Denis stands, excuse me. You know, he's been a guy who is dangerous. He's very vicious. He's violent. He gets knockouts. He chases for the finish. He's very entertaining. But when we're talking about the lightweight division, we're talking about a division that is one of the best divisions in the UFC, arguably the best division, the perfect middle division, a perfect amount of violence, speed, like the fastest guys, the strongest guys, just the most entertaining fights, in my personal opinion, is in the lightweight division. Everybody has their preference of division, but I feel like lightweight is one of the most violent divisions in the UFC, and Benoît Saint-Denis, BSD, fit that category very, very nicely. He is a very violent man. He did amazing when he was outside the rankings, and when he broke into the rankings, we had high hopes for him. I had high hopes for him, and he called out for Poirier. He called Poirier's name last year, and it just didn't go well for him. It didn't go well for him, but you can't blame him for the fight with Poirier. He got beat down bad. He got knocked out really, really bad, and that was his first time being knocked out in the UFC. He was on a 5-fight win streak, I believe. Most of them, I think all of them coming by way of finish. He's a very violent man, but he's fighting a guy like Dustin Poirier, where Dustin Poirier is still that guy. He's still that guy at 35. He hung with Islam, and beating BSD got him that title shot with Islam. But we're talking about BSD here, and the thing is, I keep seeing things of people disregarding Benoit Saint Denis. Being like, oh, he got project back to back. He's cooked. People are saying he's cooked. People are saying that his career is going to be cooked. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that, but the downfall of BSD has to be studied, and that's what we're going to be doing today. He fought Dustin Poirier last year. Not last year. It was I think it was April or March. He fought Dustin Poirier. He was doing well in the beginning. It was a 5-rounder. It was bound to end in a finish, and a lot of people had high hopes for BSD. He was ranked number 13th, and Dustin Poirier was ranked number 3. That's what they did to BSD. They kind of fed him to the wolves, man. They fed him to Dustin Poirier, a guy who's been around for a while. He's got crisp boxing. He's heavy hands, and the outcome was quite expected. A finish in round 2 by Dustin Poirier. Benoit Saint-Denis couldn't last long enough with this guy. He hung on the ground, he hung on the feet for a while, but BSD has a tendency to keep his hands very low, keep his chin very high. When he's throwing punches, he doesn't move with his punches. He throws punches, he leaves his chin in the same place. Dustin Poirier was able to lock onto that and connect with a nasty shot, nasty check hook, knocked him out cold. BSD suffered a real bad knockout after quite a decent win streak, and after suffering a knockout like that, you need a decent amount of time off. BSD did take that time off, but he came back to a fight in Renato Moicano in Paris. It seemed like a great matchup. BSD was a huge favorite, huge favorite. All the Frenchies wanted him to win. All the Frenchies were betting on BSD. You already know. And it was a shocker in Paris. It was a shocker in Paris. BSD got his ass beat down for 2 rounds. He got his ass beat down. His face looked mauled. He got destroyed by Renato Moicano. Moicano out-wrestled him, out-grappled him, and ground and pounded his way to a vicious knockout win where the doctors had to step in and stop the fight for understandable reasons. BSD's face looked disgusting. His eyelids were shut, and he couldn't see. It looked brutal. It made a lot of fans feel like BSD might not have a chance in the UFC, might not have a chance in the rankings, and it's made a lot of fans like me have the exact same. Sorry about my dogs, by the way. Have a lot of fans like me have the same kind of feeling, but I still think BSD does have a chance in the UFC. But I feel like his next matchup has to be outside the rankings. They should give him an up and comer. Give him somebody like Fares Siam. Give him somebody, maybe give somebody that just broke into the rankings. Somebody like Joel Alvarez. Give him somebody like Grant Dawson. Something like that where, BSD can potentially get himself a win to stay in the division and slowly make his way up. I just feel like the UFC fed him to the wolves. They jumped him too high in the rankings. He got knocked out bad, and then he just wasn't able to recover. And in that Renato Moicano fight, he just gave up bad positions and he let himself get dominated in a sense. It was super unexpected for Renato to run through Benoît Saint-Denis like that. We've seen Renato Moicano finish guys, but he struggled a lot, especially with guys like BSD who are very, very pushing forward. Like they're always pushing the pace, and that is BSD. He's always pushing the pace. He's always pushing forward. He's very, very violent guy, like I've said. But the problem is his defense. His defense is not there. Benoit Saint Denis has very lackluster defense. He tends to give up positions and he tends to drop his hands in a sense of laziness. But I do believe that Benoit Saint Denis can fix this. He can fix his defense. That is something that can definitely be worked on. And I do see that he can have a future if he really, really works at it. The thing is, we need to see what his next matchup is because the UFC, they haven't been matchmaking BSD too well. Obviously, the fight with Poirier was terrible matchmaking. It was way too early to throw him up to Poirier, but it was a fun fight, but it may have ruined BSD's career. We don't know yet. I would love to see BSD back in the win column, but I want to hear what you guys say and what you guys think about the whole Benoit Saint Denis situation. If you guys think he still has potential in the UFC or if his time is done, drop it down in the comments and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you.